Hello everybody and welcome back to more Millennia. As hinted in the previous episode of this game, I suggested that I'd do more of a deep dive now. Now that I've experienced the game and I figured out what some of the different things mean, I'm gonna try and explain it to you guys in the best way I can. I was just in a chat with Rob and Rob has chosen that I play Egypt, so that is who I'm jumping in as. But the benefit of Egypt is discount claim territory, which I will explain when it becomes relevant. But until we have, I think it's the third one of the domain XPs, it's not the most important thing. So immediately, right, we're just going to look at our start. We start with 2 warriors, and what we will do is we'll send one up. Got limestone to the north and hills. I'll send this one south, and I see nothing down here. And just to go through the basic UI, because this is things that I missed the first time I was playing. Down here you have improvement points, which are production for things outside of your city. Here are your basic ones. You unlock more as you do tech. Up here, you know, your basic. There we go. These are just explaining basic things to you. But that's your turn. Yeah, each end turn is, I think, 2,500 years. And we'll double check if I hit end turn. Research affected by buildings and potentially some districts, depending on the districts. Culture exactly the same, just different. With culture you can do culture powers, whilst research is a research tree like every other game. Domains. So this is your type of government. For the first 2 eras, you are always a tribal government. So really, completing some of these as quickly as you can is a really good benefit. And otherwise you use them also to spawn settlers. So that is something to be considered. Up here, money, your regions, your armies, pretty all self-explanatory. What I'm going to think about though is to gather this resource. I assume you need a plantation. So what I'm going to do is oh wait, I've not noticed this one because it's underneath my city. Here, it's just a hunting camp. So that will be what we get our first points and put into. Otherwise, I'm going to push for, I think, a council. Oh, that gives me clay. I don't think I need that. Scouts, really useful, but I don't think it's the initial pick I'm going for. So I'm thinking I'm going to go tribal elders, because the earlier you get that building built, the sooner you get resources. In here, you've got your sort of second wave of stuff. So, deep forests produce food and production, same as normal forests. Grasslands food, and shrublands less food. You need 2 foods per person. So as you can see here, we've got 3 food, and the need is 150%. If I bump it up to there, need is 200%, because instead of producing 3, we're producing 4. And now we grow at a quicker rate, which is why I'm going to do that initially, and then build a town centre, I think, because that gives government XP, and government XP is important to building more settlers, upgrading your government, and that is just how I'm going to play this. I think I'm going pop heavy. So yeah, 250 years, sorry, not 2,500. Here we have limestone, very good resource. But yeah, with the moment in 5 turns we'll build this, which will definitely increase our food production. Normally in Civilization I would speed move units, but I have found in this game it's better to move them 1 tile at a time, because you never really know what you're gonna find. So here we just head through this gap and we will see what we come out to. I don't know if Eataway is an actual name, but this is one thing that really confused me early on, is there is a difference between production and improvement points. Production is everything you build here. Everything you build within a city all depends on production. Whilst actual map improvements are all improvement points. They're not the same pool. So that's an important thing to make sure, so you are maximizing both of them at any one time. I will get to that in a second. I will just... Oh, I didn't need to move that. Oops. Okay. I'm just going to do a rough circle with this one, just to see if there's any barbarian camps nearby. But next turn we'll get an extra person, which means I can show you more about person management. This is a tribal camp. Same concept as a tribal village from Civilization. You walk on it, and you get experience. In this one, Exploration XP is useful, but all you can really do, since I've played the game, is recruit scouts with them. So this is essentially the equivalent of 20 Exploration XP, because you get a scout cavalry. And as you can see, they'll fill up one of the additional spots in the army, but you don't really need them in the same army, because your scouts will not be fighting. So you can just select one and move it out that way. This unit will now probably continue off that way. Scouts, fantastic, they move quicker. You can also get one of the nations has scout movement, which could be a really useful one to start off the game with. Let's see, I think let's head this way. And there's the US of A. It's always good to find people. So we know we've got some near us, essentially, by finding one of their scouts, which is helpful. I'm not going to create a town. So what I figured out recently is towns do well based off... Oh, I could build one there and it would have 3 adjacency. But towns can be specialised later down the game. So there are mining towns, there are farming towns, hunting, lumber towns. So if you built one, say here, you would have a really good basis for a lumber town. But to be honest, I would rather boost everything for now on this city. Proves everything. Fantastic. And on that, it also does improve how quickly you get culture, which is very nice. Otherwise, I don't need more warbands. More food doesn't hurt. Speed up how quickly I get units, goes up to 4. I'm going to lock permanently working this grassland tile, because I like the food. And in 2 turns, I will then adjust how my people work to make the most of this hunting camp. Because, as you can see, 3 food from 1 tile is actually a really good benefit. Meanwhile, I will send this guy, and there we go, another tribal village. Fantastic. Knowledge, research, improvement points. I think improvement points are something that I did a lot of last time I was playing. I don't think they're that important early game, because to get them, and I'll just quickly do this. I'm doing plan. I might speed scouting because I don't need the production points, whilst allowing. I quite like getting an extra scout early game, and it's already boosted because of the science I just got. But what was I saying? Oh yeah, so you can only work the tiles if you have the population for them, which means, say you are running 3 population city, at max you only need 2 tiles improved. 3 really. You need a tile you need to have enough that a person can work in each one. This unit is simply just going to go through this forest, and I'm not seeing any particularly incredible locations to build anything. So I'm probably, let's just head up there and we'll cross higher up, because I don't want to waste movement. We've just completed our next scout, so we'll send him, potentially, let's send him this way. Run through the forest. as you can see, we're about to get that, but more importantly, we're now on 8, which means, and it was 6, so I could have done this turns ago, and I should have. I can build that, and if I go here now, you'll see on the top line, there's a hunting camp. Lock it. You always want it to be, to be honest, if you can keep it at 200, I think that's the quickest that a city can go. So it's always a benefit. At some point I will work on building this plantation, but wealth doesn't have this. I've not found the same value as I found it in games like Civilization, but that I purely think is down to, okay, there's a desert. I've never actually encountered a desert before, but I think that's down to me not ever being on good relations with another country. Finally, while this is nice, and it gives you an archer, what you have to remember is every unit that you get costs money. And currently, I'm only making 4 a turn. And there's another tribal village, so we will grab that next turn. But I'm only making 4 a turn. If I have more units, that reduces my gold income. And gold can be used to increase, to save yourself from events later down the line. Here, whilst knowledge is very useful, I'm going to go with the Doman, because this is influence. And let me get into what influence pretty much is. So, these tiles are within your borders, but every tile outside has this influence meter. I think as it goes up, the influence required grows. But different tiles have different influence requirements. But as you can see, they're all on 2.21, which is because every turn, your total influence earned by a city is shared amongst all of the bordering tiles. So say you were to suddenly speed and claim these 2 tiles, suddenly you would be bordering, what, 7 more, actually, I suppose it's only actually 5 more tiles. Your influence would be stretched 5 more times. It tends to be more useful tiles require more influence, so things like hills and forests will require more because they're not bog standard plain lands. So these 2 are both 15.15 because they are normal basic land. Same over there. It doesn't really matter where you look, it'll be the same. Over river doesn't affect anything. The only one that's different, again, seas, oceans, hills. Or seas, trees and hills. And turn again. Okay, we're now on 3 population. But more importantly, let's do all of my movements. Let's grab that. And I'm going to take the Warfare XP because I don't think I need another warband. And I believe that is the US of A right there. Warfare, volunteers. If I wanted to min-max, I would have gone the warband. But I don't want to spend the money, which is the reason I've decided against it. Now, if I wanted to improve, I could build, because this is scrubland, it provides 1 food, build a hunting camp to make it provide more food. Forests, I could increase how much production I'm getting, which is probably something I will do soon. But I think this is all mountains, which is good to know. So I'll just quickly scout here. But it's looking like we're just on a continent with the US of A, currently to the south. Let's continue sending the scout this way. And then this scout, there's marble there. But that's Boston. As you can see, it is a United States city. I don't know why their city is not in the middle. That is something to be inquired, but yeah, as I thought, this is all locked off. So we have to go through here if we want to go north. Or, I don't know. Yeah, deserts are just additional movement. So we can go through the desert. I'm just maximizing my movement in all honesty. And, like, I'm going to dismiss all of these just because I'm trying to explain it to you. Next up, I think we're going to build a hunting camp. And the reason for the hunting camp is more food. As simple as that. I like the fact that it's more food, grows our city quicker, and more population overall. It's never a bad thing. You have more workers to be doing more stuff. So let's send this guy through this gap. This guy's going to be in a sticky situation soon. Oh, okay, so that's the town. Miami is the capital. It's good to know. We're not aggro with them yet, so we have nothing to worry about. Let's just keep on going. And use coach power. Again, think I'm going to stick with create town, because I don't have anywhere that's particularly great. That is really the only place that I'm thinking. But I don't think there's immediate advantages to building towns too early on. In case you're wondering, that is very useful. But I would rather get a settler currently, because I think the sooner you get a settler out, the better it is for you. Let's go south. There are hills. Go east. This is odd. The first game I was playing, I found pretty much... there's barbarians right there. Okay. So now we know where they are. Let's back away. And I don't think I need to fight them, if I'm being honest. Let's just cross the desert. I think cross there, because I don't need to cross a river then. This unit, I suppose let's go that way. But with towns providing adjacency bonuses, putting it too close to your city doesn't provide you the best yields, in my personal opinion. I'm sure there'll be plenty of people that disagree, and I'm sure they'll have very valid reasons. Equally, I'm not sure if mountains can be used. Probably in later ages, but definitely not in before round 60. So I'm going to, again, local reforms. Look, if you look at both of them, it's 2-2. Suddenly 3-3. Simple as that. Warfare, yeah. Nothing to be done there. In the city, just checking over everything to make sure it's all good. When that's done, though, we get... oh, it also gives us a one-time border expansion, which is really helpful. But on to the next technology, and this is how the tech ages work. As you can see, I've finished 3 technologies, as displayed here, which now allows me to enter a new age, the Age of Bronze. And you can choose to stick around here, but the earlier you head into a new age, the better advantages you have. I now have enough, so let's build a settler. And that settler will go into its way, and in all honesty, I'm looking out here. Because this is pretty limited. I could go down towards Miami. Like, there is a lot of potential down here for a very strong city. So much so, I'm actually considering it. Let me think. Because really, each town, and the game says this, each town is not a town, it's a region. So this is the capital of a region, you build more towns, and the regions become better. What I'm currently considering is I want to maximize my access to a lot of these. If I go here, which is where I think I'm going, I will instantly gain access to all of that. Okay, that's another coastline, and undiscovered. We'll get to explain that when we get there next turn. This person will continue up this way. This guy, yeah, head to the desert. You can just hit end turn, right? And I'll show it next time when it comes to movements. But that's not too much of a problem. Again, just like in Civ, if you recruit a settler, you lose a... I'm going to actually unlock that now. If you recruit a settler, you lose a population. Let's continue down this way. And here we go. We've got exploration XP. So I said I'd explain this earlier, why I took the scout cav. As you can see, it costs 20 to get a scout cav here. While when I got the scout cav, essentially the event was only willing to offer me 10, which really means I doubled my XP income. I then ignored that price same advice going for warfare, but it is what it is, very sadly. I actually did not mean to know it, and it was very unfortunate. But we will keep on going. I will quickly send all of these guys around because I can. That would also be an absolutely incredible place for another city. I kind of want to go there. An archer is just good. And then we will go here and end our turn. Whilst the archer, kind of just want to send the archer home. Because it will slow down the scout army. Sadly, these guys you can't recall. These guys you can use exploration XP to return them to the nearest capital. So if your scouts are ever in trouble or really out the way, consider doing it, because it is a good idea in all generalness. Fantastic. As you can see, food 13. So clearly the maximum you can have is 200% because we only need 6 food. And we have 13, which would be about 210, 220%. As for this settler, he will get there next time. And then if you see, I hit next, it goes to a unit, and you can just hit continue movement, which I do like. It's a little quality of life. That guy will ignore, but we'll come here, right? And this button has suddenly appeared and is available. Discover landmark. So as you see here, it says undiscovered. If I click this button, the Frozen Wastes gives me exploration XP, a discovered landmark, and combat XP. Which does give me the option to upgrade this guy, which I don't want to do. I made that mistake last time. You can't do anything with these though until you get to age 5, which is too far for the demo, so I've not experienced it. But we've got the initial benefit, and they will benefit us in the next age, and I will explain that as we get there. But same way, I'm just going to move this guy around. There is still a scout cav out there, but this guy will keep on moving. This guy will get here this turn. Yeah, water. I think this is an absolutely phenomenal thing, but you cannot settle unless you've not moved. So consider that. Most actions, when it comes to civilian units, you cannot do unless you've not moved. This guy, continue moving, absolutely great. Next, continue moving, phenomenal. Next, continue moving up that way. Hopefully across the desert there is something soon. So what I'm thinking is I will send this guy up, and this guy I'll also send upwards, just to see what's up in this direction. Lots of mountains. That feels very Giant's Causeway-esque to me, if you ask. But it's not. I don't think the Giant's Causeway is in the game. Not that I've seen, at least. But I've only ever discovered 4 people, which means there is a lot in the world that I have not discovered. Well, not yet. This guy, and read here, it doesn't say found a city. Establish new vassalized territory. So this is not a city for me. This is a vassal. As you can see, integration will take 15 turns. I can then integrate them and make them a full-blown city in my empire. They do, though, pay me with these things, and they will develop themselves, which slightly cuts off the benefit, sort of the costs, but it is one of my pet peeves. I would much rather just have the advantage. Next, I'm going to go food, because we're slowly approaching the level that we need more food. Region level is still 1. I think it starts to level up when you have a town. As such, I'm considering having the town here, because you can't put farms on shrublands. You can only put hunting camps. You only put farms and grasslands, and I like the idea of food, but this build is not designed... Well, this start is not designed greatly for food. They will continue their movement. These guys are over the mountains now, and we have found barbarians. I think these are. Yeah. just bog standard barbarians. And these guys are almost over the desert. Fantastic news. For some reason those barbarians have decided to attack, which is just annoying, but it's not the end of the world. I'm going to push through this mountain pass, mainly because I want to send this scout around this way. I don't really want to fight this guy, if I'm being honest, but this is fighting. Each turn, it just sort of goes forwards and backwards until I think it's one unit dies or 3 actions are had by each side. So you can see neither of us getting a bonus, but neither side ran out of anything. As such, a tribal village. I'm glad I moved instead of fighting back. So this is where you start just getting more challenges, and I like this aspect of tribal villages because you get options. Civ, you don't get options, you just get given something, and let's face it, half the time you don't know what it is. Here, it's very clear you know what it is. And I'm going to go for exploration, I think, just because I prefer send scout. If you look here though, I can't call another settler for 12 turns. Also, the cost has gone up ever since I called that scout. So if I want to call more settler, and if I want to call more settlers, I will have to consider that cost, because each region has to be viable now. It's not the same way as in the base game where you can just get away with it. No. Exploration XP might cut us up. I would say I would summon another scout, but this is a dead end. These guys are blocking here. I suppose I could send someone to explore there, but I don't know. My warriors are doing a decent enough job at exploring north. So we'll move on to the next turn and just see where we're going. Let's continue with the scout. I want to send him this way in all honesty, and this guy. Hills are just an absolute nightmare. Like in every game. And in real life. Hills really suck. That feels interesting. It might be the base of a mountain, but I don't feel, okay, and there's another one. That's unfortunate. I don't think that unit is making it home, but that is just something I'm going to have to accept. I'd love it, though. I don't think I can build things in their land, which is very sad. If I could, I would. At some point, though, I do want to build a forester for the production points, because I've got a lot of food points now, and I think production is, yeah, that unit's dead. That's sad. But I think production is the next thing you focus on, understandably. It just makes sense, if you ask me. Again, does that not give Giant's Causeway vibes? Okay, this is a lot bigger a peninsula than I thought it was, but we're fine. Here, check. 5 turns for food structures. In 1 turn, we'll be able to build our forester. And then what I will do is I will force someone to work it, because I'd rather. Let me see. I do need more food, but I do think there's value in this. So we'll quickly. Guess let's just see what there is around. But I think this will be the last turn we play in this episode, just because we're heading to a new age, which is very interesting to just see what's been taken. So as you can see, new domains. So this is the new experience on the left, diplomacy and engineering. National spirit we will talk about, and new system trade. I've never done the trade system, but what I will do is quickly, before I forget, I'm going to build a forester, because I need the forester, and then what we'll do is make sure units tend to auto-focus up at the top, which I don't mind. But as you can see, right, it says 1 log equals 2 production, right? And you can see that up here. Bam. Which in turn means we build things quicker, and these are sort of your pop-free options, which is really useful to have pop-free options. But This still just progresses at the same speed, I think. 4 out of 15. Ah, no, now integration is increasing by 2 each time. Very interesting. And the other thing, I want to grab this. Let's see what we get for our final loot box of the episode. Diplomacy XP or Warfare XP. I'm going to take Diplomacy because I don't have any. As you can see here, we've got Spawn Envoy, Spawn Merchant, Integrate Vassal. I will explain what all of those do at the beginning of the next episode. So, thank you all very much for tuning in, and I hope you actually appreciate this deep dive format. I enjoy playing games randomly, but I'm fully aware that people do need to understand the game, and I need to understand the game, so I'll throw myself into games in the future, learning them. First time will always be a random chaotic event, and I will try and do something more like this, a deep dive for a second series. I hope you're all enjoying this and that you're finding it useful, and that it's actually giving you information on what type of game this is, so you can make an informed decision later on whether you will want it or not. My scout here is in trouble because I can't get past him, which is slightly infuriating. So I'm just going to back out before I forget. Yeah, I hope you like and subscribe. If there are other games you want me to watch me chaotically experience and explain, please let me know. Until then, have a lovely week. I hope you've had a lovely weekend so far, and you enjoy the rest of it. Thank you very much, and goodbye.